Hello, makers. My name is Jen, and I'm host of Making Conversation, a podcast where we celebrate all things fiber arts and the people who are doing cool things in our industry. If you've been around here for a bit, you know these two. This is Benny. That's Marcelo. These are my babies, and they're going to be hanging out. Well, I give you a little recap of Flock Fiber Festival 2025. Let's get into it. So if you're watching and you're like, what's a flock? Flock Fiber Festival is located in Seattle, Washington, and is hosted by Jess of La Mercerie and Caroline. And they are two of the most wonderful people you will ever meet. It is a fiber festival that is really centered around community and connection. This is year 2 of me hosting Flock Talks, which there are a few new faces here. Hi, welcome. I know that you are anxiously awaiting me to post those videos, and I'm excited to get them up and out into the world. But I wanted to start with this recap, kind of give a little bit of behind the scenes, a little bit of my experience at Flock, and go over how this year went. So this is the second year in the convention center, the Seattle Convention Center. Now, I know that if you have not been to Flock and if you have no idea, you hear convention center and you think like icky overhead lighting and old carpet. But I can't say that that is like further from the truth when it comes to this festival and the very new Seattle Convention Center. There's lots of natural light. Everything just is very intentionally laid out, and it is just a really wonderful backdrop for this fiber festival. I'm not going there and setting up a booth, right? So I don't have to get there Friday morning super early and like load in and bring all this yarn and all of that. But I did get there Friday and set up the stage. Jess very kindly set me up with a sound engineer from the convention center, which was great. Set up the camera. We did some tests, and they set up the space as well. So everything that goes into Flock Talks is something that I'm really passionate about. I have a background in marketing, and I really, really love building community and storytelling. So that is really what this podcast is about, what Flock Talks are about. So setup and Flock Talks and how people are quote unquote chosen for Flock Talks. We send out an email. I hop on one of the vendor calls and I explain what Flock Talks are and kind of what the setup is, what it looks like, and the goal of Flock Talks. So the first step is to gather a list of vendors who are interested in participating. Now, some people are interested but are a little nervous. Some people know that it won't fit into their day. I actually had quite a few vendors who were like, oh, I missed the deadline. I wish I would have done it. If you're watching next year, we will make it happen. But what we do is we ask, what are you passionate about? Do you have a background in something that you'd like to talk about? Is there a certain process in crafting whatever product that you're selling that you'd like to talk about? And then comes the puzzle, the magic puzzle of Flock Talks, where I sit down at the list, I look at all of the responses, and I start putting together the pieces of each conversation. Sometimes that puzzle piece fits because I know a vendor has a certain experience. Sometimes it's exactly what they said, and a few of them match up, and I'm able to kind of craft a conversation around that. But the goal is to always bring something that the attendees, the people who sit and watch, can walk away with. I sit down and create all of the topics of the conversations, creating the description, going in and creating all the content to help promote. I'm not a designer at all. And though I have Canva, I rarely will follow a template. Basically, my process is knowing the information that I want to be shared in the image, in the email, in the description, whatever it is that I'm creating, sitting down, writing everything out, seeing what kind of fits in the vibe of the podcast look and feel already, and creating the assets. And I don't need to go deeper than that because we all know that that stuff can take a lot of time. And if you don't know that, now you do. Congratulations. Then comes the questions. Like I said, the goal is for everyone that sits there to walk away with at least one new thing that they've learned, whether it's about the maker, whether it's about the product that they produce. I was very fortunate to have some people sign up that I had already chatted with on the podcast. And that's always fun because I kind of know a little bit more behind the scenes. I can kind of dig a little deeper with these people. But this year's list was quite impressive. The schedule was stacked, and I was really, really honored to chat with every single one of those people. If you participated in a flock talk, if you came and watched one, even if it was for a few minutes or many, thank you so, so much from the bottom of my heart. This is a passion project. This is just something I love doing. And it does take a lot of time and effort, but the reward is so huge for me. So, again, thank you so much. I hope that you will subscribe to the podcast if you haven't already. I hope that you will visit these vendors' websites, take note of what they're doing, and follow their journey moving forward from here. So, day of, I got there before the festival opened, obviously, and I was able to set up, troubleshoot some things. For those of you that record content, whether it is a podcast, Instagram, live things, whatever it is, you know, you know, technology is a jerk sometimes. That's me being nice about it too. Every year that I do this, there is something that goes wrong. And it just you just have to roll with it. Every single time that I go into these festivals, I just know something will happen that is not a part of the plan. Do I plan backup? Yes. I have gotten to the point where I'm able to pivot, run with it, and just let go. It's a really important skill to have, you know? Anyways, I get there on Saturday. We set up, we test the audio, we test the video several times with all of the mics, all of the things. The conversations are wonderful. Many people in the audience, some familiar faces I see coming back, and it is just so great. I get home, I open up my computer, I go to listen and watch. Now it looks great. The sound is off. Sound is unusable. The pivot, we re-record. So some of these flock talks that I'm going to post, you will see on stage. You will see the conversation happening on stage, and it will be like you are at flock. Some of the flock talks you'll see recorded on the internet. It will be round two. I will ask the same questions. What I have found is sometimes with the re-recording of things that don't happen perfectly live. Now, when I say perfect, perfect is boring, but to me, the sound of anything that I'm doing is super important because I know the goal of this podcast is for you to turn it on your TV, your laptop, your computer, your phone while you are working on your whip. You're not always watching the screen, but you are listening. So to me, the audio is the most important. So when that is messed up, we pivot, we go to plan B, and we re-record. It will be just like you were there at a flock talk, but you won't see the stage. There's no limit on time. There's no needing to get back to the booth. So usually it ends up being a more robust, more fun, more laid back, more well-rested conversation than the first time. I had 5 flock talks on Saturday and 3 on Sunday. All were well attended. It was so wonderful. And I can't wait to share those conversations with you very soon right here on this YouTube channel. So Again, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss those. And truly, thank you to everyone who participated. I know that what we do is so important to us personally, and a lot of people shared vulnerable things, right? And I know that that can be hard to do on stage in front of everyone. Thank you to everybody who took the time to sit with me on stage and share their hearts and their stories. I learned something new, I think, from every talk that we had. And I just appreciate you. So thank you for taking the time. Let's talk about some of my favorite things about Flock this year. There were a few vendors and educators who were getting on stage with me. And beforehand, they were like, Jen, I'm a little nervous. Public speaking gives me anxiety, et cetera, et cetera. I was like, you're going to do so great. I'm here. If you want to hold hands, we can. Every single person who expressed that they were nervous knocked it out of the freaking park. I loved it so much. The energy, the vulnerability, the storytelling. It was just so good. And everybody did a great job. Do not get me wrong. But especially the people who expressed their concern of their nerves. I am just so grateful that they pushed themselves just a little bit to tell their stories, to talk about their passions, and I'm just so very proud. I think that there's some sort of lesson in there for all of us, right? Going outside of your comfort zone and trying something new, if you really want to do it, it can definitely be rewarding. So another one of my favorite things is seeing people that I haven't seen in a long time, or meeting people in real life that I've followed on the internet that, like, you kind of have this relationship where you feel like you know them, but you've never met them before. Thank you to everybody who watches this podcast that came up and told me how much they enjoy it. Like, stuff like that keeps me going. I felt so much love, and I just, it's like almost hard to express into words how grateful I am for each and every one of you that did that. One of my favorite moments, and I'm so sorry, I do not remember your name. It has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with my ADHD and being bad at remembering names. Somebody came up to me and said that they'd never been to a fiber festival before, but after watching some of the episodes that included things of fiber festivals, they decided that they were going to go to one for the first time. So they went to DFW. And then after seeing the episode that I recorded last year with Jess all about Flock, they decided that they were going to come out to Flock. Right then, Jess is walking by, and I was like, hey, Jess, I have something to tell you. This beautiful soul came out to Flock because they saw our podcast episode together. And Jess was like, yes. It was like the perfect timing. And I just, that one will live up here forever. Sometimes the universe just really provides all of the reminders that tell you that you are on the right path and that you're doing the right things. That was definitely one of them. So, yeah, thank you, everyone who came up and said hi. I really appreciate it. One of my favorite things was that my partner and his two kids, Oliver and Juniper, came and sat in on a couple of the Flock talks. I love seeing your faces in the audience, and I just appreciate the three of you so very much. Let's get into my purchases. Come on, I'm at a fiber festival. Of course, I'm going to purchase things. Now, typically, I am so busy throughout the day that my purchases come at the very end of the festival. They are hurried, they are not planned. They are pulling from the yarn that is left from the entire weekend. A lot of things are sold out when I have gone to shop in the past. This year was different, though I did not plan my patterns alongside the yarn I wanted to buy because I did not have time. I did take time when I had it between talks before the end of the festival to visit certain booths. Now, I did not make it to all of them. There were so many people that I missed. I'm like scrolling my Instagram feed after Flock, seeing people who were there that I didn't even see their booth. And I'm like, no. The other thing that I always want to do is put together a list of things that I want to make and the type of yarn that I want to make it with and try and pick up yarn that has to do with that. I did not get to that this year. I did not have time. So none of this really has a plan except for one, because I saw a sample and I fell in love with it. But let's get into it. My very first stop, because I could see it from the stage and because I know the dyer and how much she loves what she does, and because I have seen the yarn and the colors, and because I knew I needed it. Wool and palette. So this is 100% merino and rambouillet. I'm probably saying that wrong, and I'm not going to look it up. And I should know how to say it, and I think I'm doing it right. Anyways, non-superwash, made in Portland, Oregon. Now, I met Emily at Sacred Sheep. We had a wonderful conversation for the podcast. If you go to the Sacred Sheep episode, back from this last year, Emily is so passionate about what she does. It is naturally hand-dyed yarn. I don't think I've ever worked with naturally hand-dyed yarn. I don't think so. But I saw all of the yarn that she had at the beginning of Sacred Sheep, and then when I went to go buy it at the end, but a lot of it was gone, and so I knew that that had to be my first stop. It is DK, and the color is light denim. Now, the cool thing about this is she dyed this with logwood, which does not look like this blue. I think that's one of the coolest things about natural dyeing is that you typically get colors that don't look like the thing that you're dyeing with. It's so fascinating. So I have 4 skeins of this. Each one is 260 yards. You do the math. If you have a fun pattern that uses DK weight yarn that would look pretty with this, feel free to comment it below. If you see any of this yarn that I purchased and you're like, I know what you should make, feel free to comment it below. I want to hear all your ideas. Okay, so first purchase, woolen palette, check. Again, if you have been around here at all, you know that I love Vanessa from Ocean Knits and Fibers, based out of Astoria, Oregon. She's one of my favorite people. We're really good friends. When I went to go say hi to her in her booth as they were setting up, I saw this yarn and I said, I need it. Do I know what I'm going to do with it? No. But here we go. Also, again, if you have suggestions, please drop them below. Look at this Gorgie boucle. I don't even think the color that's coming through does it justice, but it's so beautiful. It is called Golden Kelp, and it's a DK merino, 240 yards. I have 3 skeins. It was the last 3 skeins that they had. Just so pretty. I cannot wait to knit with this, whatever it may be. The other thing that I got from that booth, Vanessa was like walking around knitting with this hanging off her arm. And I was like, I must have. So it's a little pouch. You can put your notions in there, your wallet, whatever you want. You know, you throw your skein on there, just wander. It's really cool. I'm very excited about this and I can't wait to use it. One of the things that I have been trying to do is knit with more cotton. I've had my eye on the Wandering Flocks cotton yarn for quite a while now. Now, I love Geraldine and Marie. I get really excited every time I know that they're going to be at a festival because they're so sweet and so kind. The energy that they put out into this world is so wonderful, along with all of the beautiful yarn that they make. It is 35% organic cotton, 30% mulberry silk, 20% linen, and 15% baby alpaca. And this is so soft and yummy and delicious. Why do I go straight to wanting to talk about how yummy it is when it's something I'm not eating when it comes to yarn? Why do we do that? The color is burnt sienna. It is sport weight, 328 yards. I have 3 skeins. Again, no idea what I'm going to do with this, but I'm stoked. This is going to be made into something lovely, and I cannot wait to work with it. Shelly Can was at this festival, always brings such fun stickers and tools that we can use. But these are nail decals. So I bought one for me and one for Juniper. These are super cute. I wanted to buy more, but I was also trying to like not go overboard. Oh, overboard. Her whole thing is about fish. That's funny. Haha. Last but not least, as I was wandering before the festival on Friday, I saw my friends over at Miss Babs and I went to say hi. And then I looked up and the clouds parted and there was the most perfect sweater. These are the two that will be held together. Avon fingering weight yarn. It's 85% merino wool, 15% silk, 490 yards. I feel like I'm like the thing where it's like pose with your yarn, like guys pose with fish. Held together with Coastal Fog, which is a heavy lace yarn, 65% merino wool and 35% Tusa. I'm going to say Tusa. Tussah. I'm getting that wrong. I'm sorry. Tusa silk. So that's held together. A photo of me trying on the sample. I will crop that. That will be a cropped number. That's my jam. Miss Babs Hand-Dyed Yarns, they are actually celebrating their anniversary this year. 20 years. Round of applause for Miss Babs Hand-Dyed Yarns. I also snagged one of these beautiful Birdie Parker Designs knit necklace. I will wear this every day. I will not take it off. I love it so much. As I was wandering the festival floor after Flock Talks had ended, I was approached by a few people who were kind enough to come say hi. One of those people was named Allie of Road Trip Sock Yarn. She was so sweet. She gifted me these cute mini skeins. They are mini skeins inspired by cats that are up for adoption. Again, if you've been here around any amount of time, these babies are rescue babies. And it is so important to me to spread the word of how many animals need homes. So the fact that this combines a few of my favorite things is so perfect. Perfect. I had to, I'm sorry. There is pictures of all the cats that were inspiration on the front. Go follow right now, Road Trip Sock Yarn. And if you've been thinking about adopting an animal, this is your sign. It's time. Go forth and adopt away. You too could have cute babies like this. Last but not least, I would like to shout out Jam PDX for this beautiful mug. I came to your booth to purchase this, so I appreciate the gift. Definitely go visit their website. And they're fiber artists as well. So a lot of the things that they create that have to do with fiber, like they know what they're doing. Their background is really cool. I will post their talk soon, so I'm not going to go into it because I don't want to spoil all the fun. But thank you so much. I love this. Coffee will be sipped from my Jam PDX flock mug. And I will always remember Flock Fiber Festival 2025 because of this every single morning. Thank you. So the thing about Flock that is hard, or any fiber festival, is how much you want to hang out with everyone, but then everyone is tired at the end of the day. On Sunday, I came home and I was one with this couch. I enjoyed a bean burrito. I was zonked. And I didn't even have to break down that much. So I can't imagine all of the vendors, how you felt at the end of the day. Once I recharged, I was so excited to get a text message from Emily, who's the botanical knitter. She was visiting for Flock, was helping out in one of the booths, and we ended up going for coffee, hanging out, having a good like hour and a half of like knitting and chatting and getting to know each other better outside of the podcast episode and following each other on Instagram. And it was so great. And earlier today, where I just came from, actually right before this, I had a chance to sit down with Geraldine and Marie of the Wandering Flock and the wonderful designer, sorry, Nordland. And we got breakfast and we had coffee and we sat and knit together. And, you know, I live here in Seattle. So when people come to my city and I have a chance to have more time with them, I'm very grateful for those moments because a lot of times we kind of feel like we're doing this alone, right? We're designing alone or we're dyeing yarn. I'm a one woman show here. So it's so wonderful to be able to take the time outside of the festival too and hang out with people and get to do what we love together. All right, y'all. Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe, tell your friends. Over the next upcoming weeks, I will be posting the Flock Talks to this channel. Come hang out, listen to some pretty awesome stories and insights from your favorite vendors and educators from Flock Fiber Festival. If you've been thinking about coming to Flock, the dates are confirmed for next year. So I will put them here because I don't have them off of the top of my head. Mark your calendar. You will want to come out, I promise you. All right, y'all, thanks for watching and happy making.